What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Early Wedge. We're talking Procore. It's our first show of our fall edition where we'll be bringing you Tuesday shows when we've got a PGA tournament during the fall swing. This crew, though, Rick Gehman, Mike McClure, Patrick McDonald, we were talking pre-show. This is the unicorn of crews. These four are never together. Patrick McDonald, your response?
You know, I'm just smiling looking at Rick's face right now. It feels like he got maybe a new camera, definitely some new lighting since
good job. Good job.
Wow.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, no, he looks good, which is saying something because he's usually in tip-top shape, but excited for the very coveted FedEx Cup Fall, of course, and the Procore Championship, RIP to the Fortnite.
The Fortnite. I didn't notice, Rick. I got to be honest with you. This is like a good friend noticing or a significant other noticing like a haircut from somebody else. Impressive, and it's always a good look coming from you. How you doing today?
It is. I'm doing well, thank you. It is very subtle lighting. The fact that Patrick noticed is
I know.
I'm actually a little worried about that.
I watch all your content, Rick.
Thank you.
And I mean everything.
It is a little stalkery. That's okay. But he's absolutely right. But yeah, this is they never let the four of us get unleashed on the same thing. This is pretty wild, actually.
I will say, Mike, before I come to you, we're going to be doing our Procore picks. You know, we don't have picks for every category. Not all of us have picks for every category. We got a lot of picks to throw out to you. But at the end of this show, and I already see some people in the chat, UF Larry is in here. I love that guy. A good friend of mine, Rick, is in here. Farzad, Kylie Reynolds, Joseph Boza, Mike Miller. If you have questions about this tournament or really just questions in general, maybe we'll field some pop culture stuff too, or some NFL stuff. We got Mike McClure on the line here. Let us know, but certainly Procore BMW questions, let us know. And at the end of this show, we're going to be answering all your questions, kind of like a modified live chat that we do during the regular season on Wednesdays at 4:00. Mike, how you doing today? I know you're engrossed in baseball and in football and in NASCAR and everything that you do. Is it tough to get up for this fall swing? I mean, we can be honest here.
No, definitely not tough to get up for it. I don't bet a ton during this time. I always play DFS during this time. But yeah, I mean, Scotty Scheffler's playing golf, and a lot of the best players in the world are playing golf still in this tournament. So yeah, I'm definitely up for it. And also, as you mentioned, you got to have me here for the pop culture. Doesn't get much better than what I'm able to bring to the table there.
Yeah, Mike for pop culture and Rick for music. We know how much of a music fan you are, Rick. Rick, you know, Mike did mention as we kind of navigate through storylines, and then we'll go through first round leaders and get to all of the bets here. This is different because we don't usually have Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas here. A, maybe explain why are they here, and B, is this hard to handicap because we have a top tier that we don't usually see?
So this is kind of rare, right? The fall portion of the schedule is supposed to be for guys 51 through 250, trying to figure out, you know, if they can get themselves into the signature events or the first couple signature events or what their priority is going to be. It is not really supposed to be filled with a bunch of the top 50, let alone some of the top 10 guys in the world. And this stems from some of the mistakes that the U.S. Ryder Cup team made in Rome by basically not playing leading up to the Ryder Cup. So Team USA got together and said, okay, we're gonna rectify that. 10 out of the 12 U.S. Ryder Cuppers are here. This is both camaraderie, get some reps under pressure, all that fun stuff. The only two that are not here, Bryson DeChambeau, he's not a PGA Tour player, and Xander Schauffele, who him and his wife just welcomed a new baby to the world. So those are the only two that are not here. So yeah, this is pretty rare, and it creates a very, very top-heavy board when you look at the betting board, or at least the fantasy pricing as well.
Patrick, do you look at this tournament and kind of take a walk down Narrative Street with who's here to like win the tournament, who's here to be in Napa Valley? I mean, is that something we could even really get into?
Well, I think Rick kind of touched on it, where there's no sleepwalking through a tournament anymore, like the old fall swing, right? Where you'd have guys kind of just occasionally pick off a tournament where they wanted to play, and it didn't really mean much. But now you have this fall schedule where, like Rick said, if you're outside the top 60, trying to get inside the top 60, you're trying to get into those first two signature events. And then you add in the Ryder Cup layer of these guys trying to find form, trying to get those reps under pressure when they're in contention late on Sunday, trying to simulate that kind of situation that they might have at Bethpage, granted scaled 2 out of 10 compared to what it's going to be. And so I don't think anyone's really sleepwalking or there just to have a good time. I think everyone's pretty focused.
All right, fair enough. Mike, do you look at this tournament versus past Procores or past Fortinets and think you kind of have to handicap it differently because of this top tier that's not usually here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's, I'm not going to say it's like a signature event or anything, but it's closer to that. Like there's a lot of great talent, and I know some of them are here for different reasons. A lot are using it as a tune-up, but they're all still competitive individuals that are going to be out there playing golf. And I expect the cream to rise to the top like it does in many of those events.
Mike Miller in here. He says, smash the like button, everyone. And Mike Miller is also famous for being in the best bets chat and giving out a home run and a golf outright winner parlay. And one time he did it and the home run hit while we were on the show, which was incredible. So he likes Cam Young without Scotty, which I've already given out on the early edge. I'll give out later today. And Mookie Betts to hit a home run, and it pays around, it looks like 80-1. So
is Mookie tonight?
He's tonight against Herman Marquez at 10 o'clock. It's in LA, right, Mike? It's not in Colorado. So
home game in LA against the Colorado Rockies.
Give me some win data. You got that for me, Mike?
I can have it. I don't know that I have it off the top. 5 miles an hour, kind of out to center, basically negligible. Beautiful night though.
Okay. You don't usually get the wind at Chavez Ravine, do you? That's a pretty stale spot, I would imagine.
Chavez Ravine, right?
We got a baseball show on our hands.
Thank you
What
much.
is going on here? Let's go. Speaking of weather, so let's get to first round leaders because Rick, you have one singular. So I have 3 first round leaders. Rick, you have 1. Mike and Patrick, I don't think you have any here for the Procore, at least not yet. Rick, the only reason I didn't take your guy is because he's in the afternoon. And honestly, I don't really know that that's going to matter because I don't think the wind's going to pick up. The gusts pick up a little bit as we see here, thanks to our esteemed producer, Josh. But it doesn't look like that big of a split. Obviously, we always prefer morning guys. Rico's going in the afternoon. You know how I know that? Because I checked rickrungood.com and you had the PM/AM split there. Talk to me about Rico Hoey because I like this guy this week.
I think that everybody in our world realizes the firepower that Rico has. I think he's one of the best drivers on the planet. He just knocks the cover off the golf ball. He putts worse than I do. I mean, he's just absolutely horrendous. I'm always good for a good narrative, a guy that's had a month off since the Wyndham Championship to figure something out. He is going to go with the broomstick this week. He's going to go with the long putter. Sean Martin of PGA Tour was all over this. I saw that and I said, that's enough, because if this man picks up a quarter of a stroke on the greens over 4 days, he's going to be in contention. So this is very much a narrative dart throw, 70-1 first round leader for a guy that I love, who's got just a ton of firepower.
Before I get to my first round leaders, Patrick, I want to ask you, when I look at past leaderboards here, I see and anybody can chime in here if they want, but I see all kinds of different golfer profiles. Guys who are elite with the short game, we see a lot of that. Guys who are sprayers off the tee but have some distance, we see a lot of that. Ball strikers, like there doesn't seem to be like a perfect fit. Not that there ever is, but there doesn't seem really to be like a comfy fit for a certain type of golfer here. Am I wrong? Like, how are you assessing this?
I think that's fair. I totally forgot Pat Kazire won this golf tournament last year, if I'm being honest. I think when Golf Channel posted those numbers, it was like 4 people watched that on Sunday night. And so you look at that leaderboard and you have a lot of big hitters with Lipsky and Fishburne as well. But even some of the past champions, like I remember Emiliano Grillo won his rookie year. Ches Reavie has a great history here. I think Brendan Steele won a couple times as well. Yeah, twice. And then you've kind of had the California narrative too with Max Homa, Thagala, McNeely's played well. I think he finished second to Homa when he won one of those times. And so I kind of think it's almost a choose your own adventure this week in what narrative you want to go down.
Rick, do you have a particular narrative? I
Yes.
saw you nodding with the California part of it,
Sorry.
but what are you going with?
The California, yeah. Look. I mean, so Brendan Steele's a California guy. Cam Champ, California guy. Sahith, California guy. Max Homa twice, California guy. Yeah, give me the Cali boys. This is the JJ Spawn 22-1 at worst number that I think is certainly in play.
Mike, did you do your standard modeling this week, and what metrics stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I did, but I can't really rely too much on some of the course history data just because of the strength of the field. So I'm still going to be looking more so just betting on some of the overall talent, some of the recent form, some of the motivation, more so than that. But the standard cop out, I mean, I still want you to be good on approach. If you're not good on approach, it's going to be a troubling thing. I will say I do love some Rico Hoey as well. 100-1 outright price. Definitely like that. We'll be playing him in DFS at 7,600. I think he's closer to top 10 in this field than top 30, which is kind of where he's priced. So give me some Rico Hoey, mostly going to be in the form of DFS though.
I've got some really interesting numbers, finishing position stuff relating to Rico Hoey, and a number at actually BetMGM, our sponsor here, that I think people are going to be interested in. My first round leader, sorry for skipping around, folks. If you have questions, whether they're DFS or betting related or just golf related in general, put them in the chat. We're going to address all the questions at the end of the show with a live Q&A. Davis Thompson, a guy that I don't really want to rely on for 4 rounds, but who can absolutely fill it up on those par fives and the scoring metrics. He certainly checks those boxes. Emiliano Grillo, that's at 70-1. DT is at 50-1. Grillo obviously has some good history here. Ball striking has been a little erratic lately, but on the recent form, I'm not really looking too hard into after the short break for most of these guys. And David Lipsky, a popular name this week, just over the last few tournaments, he's really turned it on. I think maybe he's a slightly different golfer than the David Lipsky we knew and loved a year and 2 ago. So those are my 3 first round leaders. I may end up just adding Rico Hoey, and if I do, I'll tweet that out. But Rick, I certainly like your play there. Let's go to tournament matchups. Rick, start me off with another California kid.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this one too. The McNeely option. So there's a couple things here. Maverick McNeely is very good at golf. He's coming off the best year of his career. He is no longer just this really short game reliant player. He's been healthy for a while now, and he's been putting up really good tee to green numbers. The West Coast, that he always plays good in California. You think about Pebble, you think about some of the other places that he's put together good finishes. And then if you want to just sprinkle in the narrative, I mean, he's the snub. He's the Team USA snub. He would love, with 10 of these guys here and Keegan and the vice captains, like, go win this golf tournament and just shove it in all their faces. So I took him minus 110 over Harris English. Nothing really against Harris. I just think this is a highly motivated, very good golfer in a good spot.
Patrick, I saw you Tiger Woods fist pumping there. Your thoughts?
I love it. It's one of the narratives we did not touch on. I'm going to touch on it later as well with one of my picks for the DP World Tour event. Ooh, but we've seen it a bunch. Think about last year, Mackenzie Hughes didn't make that or did he make that? He did make that President's Cup team, but we've seen it like Billy Horschel won the BMW PGA Championship. Remember last year, and he wasn't on that President's Cup team. So we see it more often than people would think.
Speaking of Mac Hughes, I'm going to take a round 1 matchup. Just so everybody knows, this one's over at DK. You have to click on not matchups. You have to click on 3-ball matchups, and you will find this. They're the first ones out. So it's the first thing you're going to see is a, quote, 3-ball matchup, which is actually a head-to-head. Matt Kuchar minus 125 over Mac Hughes. Now, both of these guys have pretty good history here. Matt Kuchar's is a little bit better, and Kuchar's is really good. If you want to talk about a profile of a guy with elite short game who doesn't hit it very far and is just, plodding along, like Matt Kuchar is really good evidence that can work here. Matt Hughes has been really bad with the ball striking lately. And that's not usually, that's not a rare thing. Mac Hughes is typically bad with the ball striking, but Kuchar's been very good. He's got very good history here. And I think he's going to roll in here, and it's just going to be like another day at the park for him, or walk in the park for him, because that's what it is when he normally comes here. I don't think Mac Hughes' form is anywhere close to good. My tournament matchup is Cam Young minus 125 over Colin Morikawa. Mike, your thoughts here, because we're going to talk a lot about Cam Young because I'm on him this week as an outright. Colin Morikawa, I don't know where people are at on him. Where are you at on Colin?
I'm going to be in on Colin personally. I know that we haven't seen the top 5 result that we kind of expect for a name like Colin Morikawa, but it was really, to me, just the 2 missed cuts, the Genesis and the Open, that were like really, really bad. You talk about the 8th at the Rocket Mortgage, not a great field, but 23rd at the US Open, 20th at the Memorial, like those are okay results, right? They're not just complete disaster. I think that this is a spot where no one wants to play him. And I think that the market kind of reflects that in the pricing. So I like his skill set. It's a debut situation, hasn't played here, is a California kid, if you want to follow that narrative. I like the vibes a little bit. You don't get this from me often, but I do like Colin Morikawa this week.
Rick, there has been a little bit of a break, I guess. Can we explain away the short game issues for Colin? Because part of the reason I love this matchup is because I think Colin might keep it a little straighter than Cam, but Cam's ball striking is great, but his short game has been really good too. How do we justify, can we justify thinking, okay, Colin has that short game fixed up?
The break is interesting. Some guys are longer than others, right? Some played the Tour Championship, some we haven't seen since the Wyndham Championship. So I tend to skew towards resetting some guys back to baselines. Now, the problem for Colin is he's never really been a great putter, right? It's always something that pops up. But I do think that there is I probably lean towards Mike's stance on this, where I'll be more interested than Colin than not, just because I think it is a long enough time to get with your coach, to get something, to get a feel, to get a thought. He probably has not patched this long term, but these guys just roll with I could do this for a week. I can change the grip. I can add some lead tape. I can get a thought. I can do all of this patchwork that will last for a week or two. So I would rather try to be early than late on Colin.
Patrick, your thoughts on Colin, in or out? Not necessarily in the sense of backing him as an outright, but in on him kind of having a successful tournament.
Oh, I'm definitely in. I think the stench around him too doesn't help at all, with him going back and forth with the media a few times, him going through 5 caddies in 2025, and then you just pile that on with, like Mike said, it was really just he played alongside Scotty Scheffler those first 2 days of the Open. I think Scheffler beat him by 18 strokes across 36 holes. So obviously he's not going to be looking great next to that. And so I think he said something interesting at the Tour Championship where he was in between feel and comfort on the greens and having control of the face. And he kind of sacrifices one for the other. And he's kind of in this middle purgatory almost. And so, like Rick said, I think a month is enough time to figure that out. And if you want to buy in, I think this week's a decent chance with that California narrative too.
Mike, before we move on to tournament finishing positions and then our outrights and so much more, I see Jeff Stenberg is in here. Thanks for being in here. He's going to want to know if we're backing Michael Thorbjornsen this week, so we'll get to that later, Jeff. I know you didn't ask that question, but we may as well answer that in the Q&A. Mike, we usually do the DFS show with Rick on Monday. We're not doing a DFS show during the fall swing, but we can certainly incorporate some DFS talk here. You mentioned in the chat some guys that you like in DFS, and for those listening to the podcast, can you just verbalize that?
Yeah. How about Cam Young and Colin Morikawa, the matchup that you just highlighted? And to me, I actually feel good about it. I know that you're very much on Cam over Colin. I personally feel good that that's the matchup that the sportsbook has chosen to offer, right? And they think that they can maybe generate a favorable outcome on that. To me, that's appealing to me, that they're putting those two in the same spot. So I like both of them. I will say, if you're doing that, you're very clearly not playing Scotty Scheffler at 14-4. I like Scotty. I think Scotty is clearly the best player in the world. We'd say this every single time he plays golf. I think that he might be a little too expensive considering the strength of this field. I like McNeely a lot, where Rick talked about him there. I think this is a huge motivational spot for him. I think he's a really good fit. So I'm going to start lineups with Cam Young, Colin Morikawa, and McNeely, and then probably Rico Hoey, who I think is just kind of simply too cheap at 7,600. So I'll be off of Scotty mostly, and on those 3 guys.
Justin Bowman in the chat says Scotty is due for a win. I don't even know how to.
It's been a month.
It has been 2 starts or something.
What's wrong with him?
That is really, really good stuff because that comment is actually true. And that's the funniest part about it. All right, we got to get to tournament finishing positions. We all have a pick for that. We got to get to outrights. We all have a pick for that. We got some DP World Tour stuff that I don't have a pick for, but we do have people on this panel that do. We're going to get to all of that. And eventually we're going to get to your questions. So make sure you put those in the chat right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
So we've got Josh Mullenix in the private chat, and he was referring to the comment from Justin Bowman. He says, Scotty just can't win the big one in Atlanta, which is just great stuff from Josh as usual. All right, let's get to finishing positions. We each have, I've got a couple here. We each have at least one. Patrick McDonald, talk to me about a guy that we've talked about. Like, shout out to Jason Sobel, who was kind of on the Jackson Koiven train for a couple of months now. You like him as a top 20? Yeah,
the koi pond. Is that what we're going to roll with?
Let's go.
Okay, yeah, got some decent. I can be better. I know it's still the off season technically. Have a couple days left. But Jackson Koiven, number 1 ranked amateur, just led the U.S. team to the Walker Cup win there at Cyprus. You look at his record on the PGA Tour. I have it in front of me. T11 at the John Deere, T6 at the ISCO, T5 at the Wyndham. Just made it to the round of 32 in the U.S. Amateur as well. And so this just feels like a perfect spot for the kid who just played a full week in California to finish inside the top 20 at plus 210. And look, I'm not a huge fan of college football these days, especially with the state of the Virginia Tech program. Unfortunately, talk about not being able to win the big one in Atlanta. The Hokies certainly know that. And it's the time of the year where you're able to yell at 18 to 22-year-olds without any punishment at all. So I want to get in on the action with Koiven top 20 at plus 210.
All right, Jackson Koiven, top 20 plus 210. Mike, you and I are aligned on Rico Hoey.
Yeah, just the price points. Yeah, it's reflected in the DFS market, reflected in essentially every market. I think Rick laid it out perfectly. We all know the talent that exists, and we all know that up until this point, he's essentially putting like anyone you would find at your local golf course. And that may sound harsh, but it's not far off from that. And I think that any change falls in the category of good change. Like I'm willing to try anything at this point because I don't think it can get any worse. And if it does get better, if you have a good day, like a single day, like I'm talking like an opening round, for example, it may literally be a confidence thing more than a skill set thing. I just think he's too good in this field. Don't be scared off by the top heavy field. It's extremely top heavy for like the top 20. And then it does kind of fall off a cliff a little bit. So it's kind of an interesting setup, but top 40 at plus 115, the top 40 to me should be like minus 140. So yeah. I think there's extreme value at plus 115.
I honestly, when I looked at this, and this number's over at BetMGM, there's not even like, not all the books right now are even offering the top 40 market, but BetMGM, who we know pays out their ties in full in this finishing position market. When I saw the plus 115, Mike, I actually thought it was like, oh, that's the wrong number. Like I expected to see we're talking top 40. I'm not saying Rico Hoey's like this unbelievable golfer necessarily, but I expected it to be minus 110 at best, if not minus 125. So before that shifts, I would go ahead and gobble up that Rico Hoey top 40. I like that as well. And I like David Lipsky top 40 plus 150. Really good. He's got a good history here. He's got really good reason for him. I think he's sort of turned a corner. And I think plus 150 in the top 40 is a very, very good number. Again, that one offered at BetMGM. Rick, yours is very interesting. Mm-hmm. This guy's had success here. He's had really big success on the PGA Tour, just not lately. Cali boy, talk to me about Sahith.
Yeah, so the Thagala top 20, it's a long number. It's plus 320. And you're going to find me, like I said, I'm resetting a lot of guys this week. So the Sahith stuff, I feel better about because I don't necessarily think it was a lot of bad play. It was injury-based stuff. He had this oblique injury that he hurt during TGL that he tried to play through the entire year. It did not go well. He injured the neck late in the year. He had a couple of WDs, just missed a lot of time. He did an interview with PGAtour.com about a week ago. Seems like he is happy, healthy, fit, 100%, declaring himself ready to rock and roll. If that's the case, like if Sahith is the guy that he was in 2024, the guy that he's been in his career, for him to finish inside the top 20 at plus 320 is just like shocking. And I think Mike's point is really well founded in the sense that by I almost called it the Safeway Open, by Procore Championship. I know we've gone through a lot of names in this one. Fries.com.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Just like, my goodness. For Procore Championship standards, this is a very strong field. All of that is concentrated in the top like 12 names. And then it is pretty weak after that. So I'm liking these kind of second tier guys, try to be a little bit early on them.
Yeah, I mean, plus 320 on a guy that might, have just had some injuries that we just didn't know enough about. I mean, I know we knew about the injuries, but if he's turned that corner, plus 320 is certainly a number we should look at. All right, let's go to outrights. We've each got some outrights. Oh, we had the EC list. Put the EC list up there. This is the EC no bet list. And so Victor Hovland.
These are the guys he doesn't bet?
These are the guys he will not bet.
Oh, this is like the best winners in the world.
Well, welcome to the EC do not bet list. Although it did pretty well this last year. I mean, obviously Hovland and Cam Young got to him late, but
yeah, I guess it depends on when you started this.
He also had Scotty Scheffler on it in 2024, and Xander Schauffele.
Yeah.
Well,
I see that there's an amendment now to the Xander Schauffele line.
Okay.
So the Scotty thing was embarrassing, but it was at 10-1 or shorter at the time. And that's when he put it on there, I think he rattled off like it felt
9.
like 6 straight wins.
He didn't win, and then he started winning everything.
Yeah, he won everything.
And then honestly, he was the inspiration for me betting Tommy at the Tour Championship because he was so adamant that it wasn't going to happen.
Rick, yeah, I know. Rick, on this list, who is most likely to have another cross through his or a line through his name for this week?
Man. I guess it's Colin. Yeah. Let me just double check on all of this and see who's playing. I love that. I love the idea that there's like little, like in parentheses, Shane Lowry in non-team, right? Like I just love that's hilarious. Okay, I'll say Colin, but Matt Fitzpatrick is very close to getting one. And
no, but he's not. So it only counts for a PGA Tour event.
Oh, well then I guess Colin is the next one to get crossed off this list.
Patrick, I think I would have gone, or I would go here with Cantlay over Colin. I think Sam Burns has a lot to say. He was almost on my outright card. What's your answer? And then Mike, I'll go to you on this.
I'm leaning Cantlay. Yeah. California guy too.
Yeah. Cantlay's my answer officially. Mike, what's your answer officially?
For me, it's got to be Colin. I mean, yeah, the price points on Colin. The thing is like the sentiment's so low that you're just getting a significantly better price to back him. I mean, he's 25-1. We've essentially paid that in signature events with significantly more difficult fields. Yeah, for me, it's Colin. Colin wins twice this year.
I mean, Cantlay almost won the Tour Championship, and he's out in California. Like this is. We talk about turning corners. I mean, I don't know how much Cantlay cares about this one versus the 10 mil at the Tour Championship, but I just feel like Cantlay he's not back, but I feel like he's ready to pounce potentially. Sites 501 says EC's list is a tapestry of disappointment. Let's get to our actual outrights. We'll see if any of these names are actually on our outrights here. A lot of caveats here, a lot of winner without Scotty stuff, which we'll get to, but Patrick McDonald, you're just spiking one here. Talk to me about JJ Spawn.
Oh, yeah. Like Rick said, this week has Spawn of the Dead. Can we go with that? Written all over it at 29-1. You think about motivation factor. He's a rookie on this Ryder Cup team. He's probably been thinking about it a lot. He wants to make sure he's playing his best golf. He's been playing some really good golf, a playoff loser there at Memphis. U.S. Open wasn't all too long ago either. Best iron year of his entire career. He gained strokes off the tee, I think, in every tournament since 2000, it seems like. He has some experience at this golf course too. Some good, some not so good, but experience nevertheless. And so I'll take a guy who showed a little little gumption, I thought, down the stretch of some of these tournaments this summer at 29-1.
Preach, Reverend McDonald. Yes.
Anything to add, Rick?
Yeah, I'll just add one more thing. The experience thing that Patrick touched on is unique because the top of this board has not historically played this event because they have not had to. And you'll see guys that have played it maybe 8 or 9 years ago. JJ Spawn's rise has been so recent and so quick. He's played here like the last 10 years. So for whatever that's worth, good, bad, or indifferent, significantly more experience than the rest of the guys at the top. I think he's a winner. I think this is a good setup for him. I think he's well rested. There's motivation. Just like check. And Patrick, I stole Patrick's number. I didn't see the 29-1 anywhere. I saw it at like 22. When I saw 29 in the outline, I updated mine to 29. So good number there.
And at the place that makes books is where I grabbed that.
Thank you.
And Rick, JJ Spawn, would you call him Russell Henley light by any chance?
Whoa. Settle down, Sia.
Well, one's got a major
Settle down.
championship. The light version has the major championship. But no, I love both these guys, right? This is play out of the fairway, take dead aim, get hot. Both these guys can do it. So 16-1 on Russell, 29-1 on JJ Spawn. That's the top end of my card.
All right. So Rick's got 2. Russell Henley at plus 1,600 and JJ Spawn at plus 2,900. Patrick has JJ Spawn at plus 2,900. Mike, before you give out your picks, because you and I are dealing in the without market. In the chat earlier, I think somebody asked you, like, what's Scotty's, implied odds on your model, Mike, versus what the actual odds are. You answered that question. So again, for the podcast listeners, because I think that's at least somewhat important to the discussion we're going to have with our without picks here. What are you seeing on Scotty specifically?
That he's the best player in the world. He's an overwhelming favorite, and I still can't get to the number. Currently, in some spots, trading as low as plus 210. That's like 32%. I have him at what I would call a massive 24%, 23.8%. My number implies 319, which is crazy. So I can't get there. I can't bet him. I like him. And by that, I probably should be betting my 2 outrights with Scotty, according to the math. But out of respect for Scotty and what he's able to do, I'm still going to pay closer to a fair value and forego some of the EV that I have on these 2 guys because Scotty is just that good. And there is a chance that I'm under projecting him somehow at nearly 24%.
And in your case, you're going ahead and you're doing the market without Scotty, but also that one. It's basically without a quote big 5 here. Scotty, Henley, Burns, Justin Thomas, and Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah, so I found the big 5 to be more appropriate than just the without Scotty this week. And the reason for it is we've mentioned a couple times, this is a unique situation in the field because it's so top heavy and then it just falls off a cliff, right? So I think that while whenever you bet these kind of markets, like, yeah, it's awesome. My guy theoretically could finish 6th, right? And win. Well, that's not necessarily what you're planning for or thinking about. But here, I think there's a very good chance that I could get one of these guys finishing 3rd in this golf tournament with how strong the field is and how strong this offering was. When you talk about Scotty, Henley, JT, Cantlay, who's playing well, and a California kid, and Burns, like, to me, that was the appropriate direction to go with it. So I'm going to be playing the withouts with the big 5 at the top.
And you've got Colin Morikawa and Cameron Young.
Colin Morikawa, Cam Young, I think it's easy for people to think why we're going there. He's been extremely strong. Love the current form. I think that he's clearly one of the top players here. And then Colin Morikawa, as Rick said, the reset, I think, is a big thing. I still like what I've seen from Morikawa in terms of the approach play, right? Like to make birdies, yes, you got to be able to putt, but you also have to be in position in terms of hitting greens and regulation. He's been basically better than everyone other than Scotty Scheffler, just like he has been on approach. So I'm willing to buy at a number, again, very unique field with these 5 guys removed. At 14-1, a number that we essentially used to pay for Colin outright multiple times, right?
Totally agree. And I have Cameron Young in the just without Scotty Scheffler market at plus 1,600 versus Mike's plus 1,200. I do not disagree with Mike's rationale. If you want to play Cameron Young at a bit of a shorter price and take those other 4 out, that's fine. I am going for somewhat of a scoop scenario because I'm doing Cameron Young in the without Scotty Scheffler market at plus 1,600, but I'm doing Rico Hoey and Patrick Fishburne at 55-1 in the without Big 5 market. So again, Cameron Young in just the without market for Scotty Scheffler, and Rico Hoey, Patrick Fishburne in the without Big 5 market. We've talked about Rico Hoey. As far as Patrick Fishburne, really good history here last year. The recent form has been very good. Talking about guys who have maybe turned a corner and have good history, I just really like Patrick Fishburne in this spot. Kind of can spray it, big hitter off the tee. I think that's going to help him on the par 5s. I think he could be in the conversation for this Procore. So I'm going to go with those 3 as my outrights. Certainly Cameron Young, the primary one there. Let's go to our long shots. And Patrick, why don't you start us off? It looks like you have a Texas 2-step parlay.
Yeah, I did try to make it a 3-step and add the Longhorns money line, but that was not offered. Where I looked. I think they're like 42-point favorites this weekend, unfortunately. So couldn't get the extra juice there. Haters and losers, of which there are many. They don't want to see you win. So Texas 2-step parlay, Scotty Scheffler to win, and CD Lamb anytime touchdown.
I love this.
Yeah. So Scotty Scheffler, obviously a Dallas boy himself. We're gonna little correlation there. I'm sure Mike's math will back this one up.
Yep.
There's some correlation between CD Lamb going against, I believe, the New York Football Giants.
Yep.
And Scotty Scheffler going against the world this week. So I like that at plus 520.
People just finding out now that George Pickens doesn't know how to run routes. Jake Ferguson would be a fun anytime touchdown there with Scotty Scheffler as well. But yeah, I love that you're incorporating the NFL. Maybe we'll do that on these fall swing shows, incorporate a little NFL betting. And did you mention the other parlay?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is the main attraction. 3-way parlay, Scotty Scheffler to win the Procore, Rory McIlroy to win the BMW PGA Championship coming off his win at the Irish Open, and Nelly Korda to win the, I'm going to get exposed here.
Man, this is
the
tough.
Kroger Championship, Kroger Queen City Championship. It's in Cincinnati.
That's
I know
tough.
that. Yeah, look, do I watch the LPGA Tour? A little bit, but clearly not as much as I probably should.
You know how many wins Nelly has this year?
She has 0, but a fun fact about the LPGA this year is there's actually been more winners than tournaments played. Did you know that?
Let me think about that. So that means there's got to be a team event.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to mean nobody has repeated.
And so that means Nelly Korda is due. Nelly, it is your time to shine. So you can get all 3 of those players to win, Scotty, Rory, Nelly, at just north of 220-1. Now, is
that's
that something you'd be
insane.
interested in?
Wait, no. I mean, that's a nice number, but no repeat winners on the LPGA Tour. Is that like historic?
It's got to be the first time ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Justin Ray tells me this stat like every single week. It's been about a month, but I'm guessing it's still holding true.
Really? Gino hasn't won twice? I guess that might. Maybe.
She should have won more.
Yeah.
Tell you that much, right? You watched the Evian. I know you did, Rick.
Yeah, of course.
I will mention. Go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just I'm scrolling through the schedule to see if I can catch Patrick in a lie here, but
as you're doing that,
I'm not sure I can.
Do not fact check Patrick.
Do not do that, Rick.
I'll tell you what, just so you know, my David Lipsky long shot is in that. You see it on the bottom of the screen here without the Big 5 market. So mine is only 100-1, but Rick, you're just doing straight up stuff here. David Lipsky, you have at 151. Yeah. And interesting, Taylor Montgomery, who you have at 150-1 as a long shot, who I faded for 6 months straight and made so much money. I think it was like a year and a half ago when it was just like he was just hurt. So incredibly bad.
Yeah, he was hurt. Listen, I mean, I don't love this. He's 150-1, but he's been playing. This is a good news, bad news situation. Bad news is he's had to play a couple of Korn Ferry Tour events recently. Good news is he's played really well in them, and you get him in a kind of a low pressure situation. He's kind of had some really good falls in his career, seemingly a little bit healthier. Like, go get hot. He's the type of guy who could literally gain 11 strokes putting this week. Like that's what I'm looking for. He's 150-1. Lipsky's been unbelievable. Lipsky's last 5 have been nuts. The 5 before that, he missed 5 straight cuts. I don't know what he found in Silvis, but like Lipsky's a thing, especially with the runner-up here last year.
Yeah, I mean, again, is he going to win? We're not sure. We're willing to put some money on a long shot outright, but that's part of the reason I had him as a top 40, including ties at plus 150. I think he might fit nicely there the way he's been playing golf. Let's transition again. If you have questions about our outrights or DFS or anything like that, we're going to answer them just in a few minutes once we wrap up just sort of the regular programming here. But you, Rick, and you, Patrick, have some BMW PGA Championship picks. I want to get there because, frankly, I haven't done any research here. And so, Patrick, you just put together a fun parlay. Like maybe I want to parlay my Cam Young ticket with one of these guys. I'm going to let you kick things off. Who are your two outrights?
Yeah, the thing about the BMW PGA Championship is once a guy plays well at Wentworth, for some reason, it seems like he will play well for the rest of his career. It's unbelievable how sticky this course history is. So I'm going with Alex Noren at 45-1. He just won at the Belfry, the British Masters, got back into the winner's circle. He kind of popped back on at the PGA Championship when he was in contention, coming back from that injury of his and starting to play some really good golf. Hit the ball great last week at the Irish Open. Just didn't make any putts, and he's a winner at this golf course as well, I believe, in 2017. And then we talked about Ryder Cup snubs. And to me,
big snub.
The first man on the list. I did have a question about the Ryder Cup. We'll go before this pick. Who is the last person Keegan Bradley called, you think, to say you're not on the team for the Ryder Cup?
Do you think he gave a courtesy call to Spieth?
Yes.
That's the last guy.
Okay. Any other
guys? He was like 25th in the standings or something like that. But that's a courtesy call.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know who probably didn't get a call? Who wasn't invited to those dinners?
I'm positive.
Who's highly motivated, who has the nickname Captain America?
Yeah.
It's Patrick Reed at 59-1 this week at the BMW PGA Championship. You look at Patrick Reed's history at the BMW PGA Championship. 2019, T4. 2020, T3. 2022, T5. This guy is a top 5 machine, and then you sprinkle in the motivation factor. Come on. 59-1 is a steal.
I mean, I kind of love that argument. I'm in. I'm going to sprinkle some on Patrick Reed. Rick, I don't know if you can top that, but you got two good golfers.
I hate following Patrick. He does this he does this outrageous. First off, he throws together like the 220-1 parlay, and it's difficult to follow him. So I'll just say this: Victor Hovland, who's given us about 63 good holes every single week. Patrick is right about like winners here. This is a proper golf course. Wentworth is a proper golf course. There's a reason that these guys win here. I think Victor's a proper golfer. And then Marco Penge, 40-1.
Polo
might be the hottest man east of the Atlantic.
Mississippi.
Yeah. Or the Mississippi. And 40-1 is much too long. He is running roughshot through the DP World Tour right now.
And snubbed.
Well, yeah, him and Sergio both snubbed.
So poor El Nino.
Who else got snubbed on that side?
No one. There were no snubs on either side. There were no snubs. The team was exactly perfect.
So there was an article out there from I don't know what player it was, but he said Marco Penge got snubbed today.
Actually, I mean, I guess technically speaking, Alex Noren was the guy in the rankings, like 11th in the rankings or 12th in the rankings, who did not get picked.
Yeah, Noren's ranked 32nd in the world.
Yeah.
And that's higher than John Rahm, and he didn't get picked, which is kind of
crazy. That's just crazy.
Do we have breaking news from Josh in our private chat? Penge to live, he says.
No, that can't be true, is it?
No, he's saying like that's what he thinks is going to happen.
Oh
no. He's going to be a PGA Tour player next
year. Exactly. He's going to he's going to make a killing next year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, that does it for this portion of the show. We're going to hang out for 10 or 15 more minutes and answer some live chat questions. Patrick, I guess we're dropping you.
Unbelievable.
He
gets the rest of the night off.
You guys can't afford me.
We can only afford
45
minutes of Patrick.
I can afford you after I
It
hit
was
that
an
Patrick
honor.
Reed
It was
play.
an honor, guys.
Pleasure,
Oh.
Patrick.
We'll see you next fall swing event. What is that? The Sanderson, I think. That's coming up in a couple weeks.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Got the Ryder Cup coming up. All right, we gotta hit a break, and we're gonna come back and answer some of your questions right now.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 glorious Sundays.
He's got his receiver touchdown.
Filled with rematches.
Oh, the play of the year.
And rivalries.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Plus, plenty of superstar showdowns. And an epic matchup between the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Clear your Sundays beginning September 7th for the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
We are back on the early wedge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. It's me, it's Mike, it's Rick, it's our live chat crew, and we've got a few questions to answer here, gentlemen. We're going to start with Joseph Boza. Rick, I'm going to start with you. Are you surprised Jordan Spieth isn't here?
No. He's in that precarious spot. Oh, there you go. Joseph's got it. He's like, in the 51 to 60 range. So Joseph says he's 54th. I will trust Joseph. I will not look that up. I am not surprised. He's can keep an eye on this. He can see how this goes. He does not necessarily have to play every single event like some of these guys who are in much more dire positions need to. He can take some time off, and if he sees himself slipping, he can start getting into some of these events later. The Zozo Championship is probably an event that he could get some free points in, right? I assume it's actually not even called the Zozo anymore. It's called the Bay Current, and I think that is still going to be one of like the 78 no cut things or whatever. I don't know that for sure. They change this all the time, but long story short, no, he's got time. He'll keep an eye on this and he'll pick his spots and be all good.
Interesting question from Farzad. He says, what do you guys feel about McCarty, first round leader at 75-1, not a Cali boy, but played 6 years at Santa Clara. So we got a little bit of a Cali correlation. I mean, I'm looking at his metrics, and there's nothing like super impressive, although he did play well at the back half of the season. The short game's pretty good. Approach can kind of be hit or miss. Any thoughts, Mike, on Matt McCarty?
No interest for me, but it just the field is still really, really strong. So I would potentially consider, dropping it down if you've got live first round finishing position markets and you're optimistic. I would look at things like top 20s, things like that, that are still likely to have a very nice payout, but personally not where I would be going looking for a lot of upside.
And I assume on a Tuesday, Mike, you haven't looked at the round scores bets.
Yeah, no, none of that that I know of is available yet. But yeah, nothing I'm looking at there.
Is that something you'll look into once the tournament starts?
It is. The thing that I would caution, and I say it all the time, but I think it's a decent way to sort of manage your risk. So I think one thing that's difficult when you come to betting golf, if you're not just familiar with betting golf, right? Say you're betting other sports and you start to dabble in golf because it's fun. You come across the early edge, the early wedge, SportsLine, whatever it may be. Managing risk in terms of firing outrights and first round leaders, things like that, can be very difficult when you're used to essentially betting full units on a side in a baseball game or an NFL game, right? So one thing I like to have newer people do is if you're considering 5 or 6 first round leaders, probably look at betting the round score under. You're not winning or leading a first round of a golf tournament without cashing your first round under, and start to split your units in certain ways in those markets. I think it's an appropriate thing to do until you really nail down a more strict, I guess I would call it bankroll management on firing off some of those long shots.
Okay. Justin Bowman says, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Nico Echeverria been a first round leader more than once this year? Might throw a 20 on it. Rick, there was a time like a couple of months ago where Nico was a super hot name, and we know he can get super hot. I mean, from a first round leader standpoint, I don't know if he's morning or afternoon, but he's like a good candidate, right, for that market.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up his profile real quick, but yes, because he is generally one of these like approach and putting guys. Now, the putters cooled off. Actually, the last 2 were really good. It was just a stretch kind of around the links golf that the putter failed him, but that like putter and approach play where you just start hitting everything to 8 feet and make all your putts is really dangerous for 18 holes at a time. So yeah, I love the talent of the guy. Speaking of somebody who's he won the Zozo last year, but he's been pretty bad at this event. He's missed 3 straight cuts. That would be the big concern there.
Okay. I think that's a good call though for a round score. Kylie Reynolds says, Rico Hoey, top Asian, plus 275. I see plus 280 for him. The other guys in that market are Ben On, who hasn't been playing very well, Tom Kim, up and down, Takumi Kanaya, Ryo Hisatsune, Kaito Onishi. I mean, I don't love it, guys. I do like the plus 280 number on Hoey. I mean, I do think Hoey has a chance to do well, but I could see those guys aren't playing well, but I feel like I need a 3 in front of the Rico Hoey number. Rick, what's your response there?
Yeah, I know. I like it. I don't care.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, Tom Kim might be legit lost. Ben On has not been good. Takumi Kanai has been playing a lot better, but yeah, I'm in on Hoey this week, man. This is a once a year sale, right? Like, I'm not going to be investing in Rico Hoey.
Yeah.
9 out of the next 10 weeks. I'm getting in, I'm getting out. Right?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. You're either in or you're out. Like, I get that argument. Mike, what are your thoughts on this market with the 5 others in here with Rico Hoey?
I don't mind it. Again, it's real early to really top heavy tournament overall. I'm playing him top 40 at plus 115. I'll play him in DFS. I was quickly comparing the price point. A top 20, including ties, is going off at like 210 to 230. I think I would rather have him in top Asian than top 20 at a better price point.
I like that you brought that up, comparing those 2 markets and just grabbing the best situation. I think that's super, super smart. Kylie says, what's the best top European guy to bet? Well, so here's the thing. I'm not going to bet that market, but I will tell you guys that I'd be willing to play in DFS. And then Rick and Mike, if you like any of these guys, let us know from a betting or DFS standpoint. Sammy Valimaki, I think, is really, really interesting. He was a first-round leader option for me. Victor Perez is a little interesting to me. Thomas Rosenmueller, a little interesting to me. The floor on some of these guys is really low, including Rosenmueller. Those would be the 3 guys I think I would be willing to play in DFS at pretty low ownership. Any of those names pop to you? Obviously, Thorbjorn Olesen is in here, Seamus Power, Chris Ventura, David Skins. Rick, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think these guys are all donkeys, but I think the guy that I like the most to kick is Martin Laird. So if you go, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. But like, if you go like last 36 rounds or something like that, he's basically the 2nd or 3rd best approach player in this field. Another one of these team no putt guys who can just absolutely not putt. He has played this place a lot, and he usually putts pretty well at Silverado. So I'm trying to just merge 2 little nuggets together. I think he's very cheap in DFS. I want to say he's like $6,900. He's 11-1 to be the top European. And quite honestly, all these guys are like not very exciting. So to give me pretty long odds on a group of 11, I believe it is, on Laird, I'll take that.
I mean, by the way, I didn't even mention Henrik Norlander or Jeremy Paul, who are guys that can flash here and there. Mike, did any of those names ring anything for you?
Martin Laird's interesting. Just found a spot where I would play him, actually, is make the cut, minus 140. I could lay minus 140 on making the cut. It's the off season. We're having fun. Could I interest you in a little donkey parlay?
Yes.
5 legs, 9-1 is the payout.
Okay.
It's just our guys to make the cut. David Lipsky, Sammy Valimaki, Rico Hoey, Martin Laird, and Taylor Montgomery.
Perfect.
Those 5 gentlemen play the weekend. 9-1.
What could possibly go wrong
with that group? Holy cow. Well, you can always do a modified of those 5, maybe cut one that you hate or whatever. But I mean, that doesn't sound terrible. You did mention in the chat, Mike, Lipsky and Hoey to make the cut is plus 131. I obviously don't mind that. Those are my 2 top 40 plays. Let's see. Rick Funcannon says, Scotty, first round score under 67.5. Are you willing to make a comment on that, Mike, in terms of Scotty's first round score?
Admittedly, haven't dove in enough to assess course conditions and understand everything. I think the scoring will certainly be there. My cop-out answer would be I would not be running to the window to bet Scotty to shoot 68 or worse.
Yeah, fair enough. Jack George, what do you guys think of Thor? Oh, so this is a 3-ball, which, by the way, Jack, I haven't looked at 3-balls yet, and I'm going to do that for the Early Edge Morning Show, where I typically give out 3-balls or matchups. He says, what do you think of Thorbjornsen over James Hahn and Kevin Streelman? Thor's minus 135. Rick, your thoughts?
I don't think much of any of that, but Michael Thorbjornsen at this point is head and shoulders better than those two guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Streelman had a great career, is at the end of it. James Hahn has flashed about 3 times in his life. Thorbjornsen is, I believe, trending upwards and starting to figure himself out, and has a lot of golf ahead of him. That's certainly the guy I would be on. I don't want to be on any of these guys, but that's the one I would want to be on.
Yeah, the only reason I'm not super in love with it is I don't exactly know what to expect from Thor because he's been a little erratic lately. I think this break is going to benefit him. I think he's a pretty good course fit. I just don't think I would lay the -135 on it. I understand why you're asking the question, though. Mike, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, my standard cop-out answer here would be I would just simply, in a 3-ball like this, I would bet his round score under, which was probably it's going to be around -110, maybe even money, depending on where the numbers are falling. But that's where I would be.
So Sites asks about wave advantages for Showdown. I don't play Showdown round 1, Rick. I don't know if you play Showdown round 1, but it did seem like the weather was going to be pretty, not innocuous, but we're going to have some gusts in that 15 to 20 range as you get later on into the afternoon, but it didn't seem like wind was going to be, or precipitation was going to be a huge factor.
I don't think it's going to be wind. You get that. So this is where you get that, you get that early morning, fog that rolls in and keeps it kind of cool and green's a little bit more receptive. And then you get, the POA that wants to grow through over the course of the afternoon. So I do think there'll be quarter of a stroke, third of a stroke, something like that each morning, even if every other condition, winds wise, stays the same. So yeah, I think there'll be something noticeable, but I don't think it'll be egregious.
All right. I think that covers the questions, gentlemen. Mike, any closing? Go ahead, Rick.
I have one. I saw this stat the other day and I wanted to pull it out. It's a baseball stat, which I thought was fascinating. So I saw in the chat, Aaron Judge just homered tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives him 359 for his career. He is now alone in 5th all time on the New York Yankees home run list, which is, first off, an insane accomplishment. Aaron Judge is an animal. That top 5 of the New York Yankees career home run list has been unchanged for over 55 years.
Wow.
And Aaron Judge just got into it. So Ruth, Mantle, Gehrig, DiMaggio, and it was Yogi Berra. Now it is Aaron Judge. I cannot imagine a scenario where, for 55 years, this list has not changed. It has just changed. So I thought that was really cool piece of history that has occurred here tonight.
Mike, Aaron Judge is 33 years old. Given his body type for baseball and his knack for getting a little dinged up, how many prime-ish years? I know he's just kind of getting out of his prime a little bit, but how many big time years do we have for Aaron Judge?
Well, what I would do in this situation, knowing he has a relatively recent contract extension paying him a ton of money, it was a 9-year deal. I'm going to subtract 2 years from that at minimum, knowing that these contracts always overpay. So I think he's got 5 years left. I think at age 38 is the year that he falls off the cliff completely from a home run standpoint.
So if he hits 40 a year,
yep.
Maybe more.
40 for 5 years. I think
so. 200 more gets him to 559. I mean, is there if everything goes well, he gets to 600? Oh no, he'll never get there. But I mean, 600 would be pretty. I mean, if everything goes perfectly, he gets to 600.
So the key number here to me is 583, which is Mark McGwire. 586, Frank Robinson, which is 10th. So he needs 587 to get top 10 all time.
I mean, he is playing in the absolute perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. He's really doing, it's being overshadowed a little bit because of the Shohei stuff, but he's doing some crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. 609 would get him to tie with Sammy Sosa.
That would be everything I think would have to be pretty optimal for that.
Yeah.
I think the best scenario is 587 to pass Frank Robinson for 10th all time. And then
wow.
Does anyone catch him at that point?
Wow. Okay.
Rick, you're not a Yankees fan, are you?
No, I'm just
He's a Phillies
baseball.
fan.
Yeah, I'm a
Right,
Philly
Phillies.
guy. Yeah, I just love the stats in baseball are just the greatest thing in the world.
And we'll close here, but you played baseball growing up in college too.
I did. That's right.
Infield?
Yeah, second base, which most people usually guess right away, but yes.
I remember you telling a story about hitting a home run. Yes.
I only hit one, so maybe I told it. I've hit one home run in my career. It was my senior year of college. I absolutely nutted it. I mean, just could not have hit it any farther. And I think it scraped the top of the fence. And it was my shining moment.
Better feeling hitting that home run or hitting like a 70-1 outright?
Hitting that home run.
Yeah, I figured. I had to ask though.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah.
That's great stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is how we're going to do it. When we have a fall swing event, which there's a handful, I think there's maybe 7. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. We've got the Sanderson coming up. We certainly have the Ryder Cup where we're going to have our full allotment of shows, Monday, Tuesday, network shows, live chats. All of that's going to happen for the Ryder Cup. But when we have these fall swing events, we're going to be doing this Tuesday night show. So make sure you come with your questions. Maybe you have NFL or MLB questions you want to pepper in there at the end, but come with your questions. We're going to give you everything we've got from a betting standpoint, try to make you some money like we always do here on the Early Wedge. A big thank you to Josh on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s for handling this show. It's a different setup. So big props to him for being able to incorporate this live chat component as well. Rick, thank you very much. Mike, I know you two are very busy. It's football season. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but thanks for being in here. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time right here on the Early Wedge. Oh, but before we go, shout out to EC. Everybody, let's hit it big.